Hi, my name is Dan O'Rourke, and I am a local amateur guitar player. Been playing guitar since I was about 12 years old. I got main influence was the British invasion stuff. I love the sound of the box guitars and the Beatles and the Stones at first, and then got into the heavier stuff, Cream and stuff like that. Jimi Hendrix, Hendrix Experience, Cream, all the British kind of influenced blues, their take on American blues, and I really loved that. I mean, they were heavily influenced by the greats, and Robert Johnson, all the guys. Anyway, I love American blues. I love and play some Delta blues and some St. Louis blues and Chicago blues and even some country blues. It's all related and it's all great, I think. But my passion is the electric, little heavy blues rock kind of stuff. That's what I like. Anyway, consequently, when you play that kind of stuff, and it's common to everybody, but in particular when you're playing at loud volumes and stuff like that, the electric guitar can be a noisy beast, right? Everybody knows, something gets out of hand, it's pretty noticeable, and if you're in a band situation, you might get some sideways glances. Anyway, so with that said, let's just go. I'm just going to go over my rig real quickly. Oh wait, before I do that, I'd like to thank the Long Island Blues Society. Tony Davenport and Emily Halleck helped with get me to the live stream thing here, and J.P. Hansen, Peter Hansen, great musician in his own right, and the author of this series. He has this. He did the first series, which was very great. I don't know if you saw it, but you should check it out. And this is number 2 of the series. He asked me if I would like to try one. I said, yeah, sure. I'm largely self-taught. And so, no hesitation. There's a lot of pros in the group here. And, you guys, a lot of great players. And so, but I'm going to try to add something. And the title of this, my edition, my contribution, is Embrace Your Noise. So, don't hide from it. Embrace it and find it and use it or destroy, get rid of it. Anyway, so that said, let's take a look. Electric guitar, noisy, right? I have a wireless setup here. Set of problems that might set its own parameters, but in this particular case, just the slightest mistake or slightest misstep can cause problems. Now, this is pedals contribute to the noise floor, right? There's always a noise floor, and one way to get rid of that is the gate. So listen, I'm sure you can hear that. I think you can hear that. This is with the gate off, right? This is just it's a Boss N5-2. It's a gate. Gone, right? Still get the attack of the guitar. It doesn't suppress any signal other than the noise. It just takes that noise floor out. All right. So that one of the other things that you have to control is, especially in a live environment, is playing dynamically. So if you want to play soft or if you want to play real loud, that range from the softest you can play to the loudest you can play has a direct bearing on how you are heard. And one of the ways to make sure that when you play softly you can be heard, and when you play loudly you're not too loud, is to use a compressor. My pedal board here has a compressor. It's a Keeley. It's completely. It says 4-knob compressor. Anyway, the long and short of it is I use this because it's very simple. It's not like a rack compressor or too many dials where you got threshold, you got attack, you got release, you got compression ratio, contour levels. It could be anything. You could have extra stuff in there, whatever. Point is, this is very simple. It's got 4 knobs that basically just the level of stuff, not the and intensity. And then it's got a great little switch here. So it says on the switch, it's a toggle switch. It's single coil and humbucker. So that simplifies things, and you don't have to worry about it. You can set it and forget it kind of thing. If you switch guitars during the gig, you can flip it. But I got to tell you, I play my Strat on the humbucker setting, and I like that sound better so I just leave it on the humbucker setting is what I'm saying. So up is single coil, down is humbucker. Anyway, Keeley, check it out. I'm not trying to endorse it or anything, but it just simplifies. You know, it's a small footprint pedal. You've got a lot of pedals. I have time bass here. I got ambience. I got echo and reverb. I have a phaser and a chorus and a rat distortion pedal, and I have a Wampler Thomas. It's like a gain boost, and then of course the ever-present wah-wah pedal. All that can create an incredible amount of noise floor. If you've ever used any of these things, you'll know. So the gate is important, and the dynamics is important because it takes that range from the lowest signal, from the lowest tone that you can create to the highest tone and squashes it down. So you gotta want to make sure you don't get too squashed, which this pedal, does a great job of just changing the dynamics enough so when you play really softly, you can be heard, and when you play really loudly, it's not 10 million times louder than that. So it's great, right? Anyway, that's the basic pedal setup here. I have some notes here. I'm going to refer to them because I'm always talking too fast and I'm always forgetting something. So, you can't do anything about your environment. A lot of times a lot of us play in small places, and they're boxes, basically. They're little boxes. It's like living inside a speaker box, if you want to look at it that way. So there's some things you can't control. If there's bad ground, 60 cycle hum and all that. Those things you can't do anything about, but you can try to mitigate them. For Strats, I put Fender noiseless pickups on my Strats, a high one Strat, and then I shielded the back and all that stuff. But it still, has issues where you got to control it. So that said, one of the techniques I like to do to try to deal with the actual noise of the electric guitar as opposed to the noise of the equipment that's used to support the amplification of it is I like to practice at a high volume, playing very softly with my pick at a 45 degree angle and just playing brush strokes. I don't want to dig in or anything like that. And one way I can best describe that is if you thought of the string, right, it's a round thing, as a telescope. You're looking down a telescope, right down in the middle of the telescope, you see moon, whatever. And so it's a circle, yeah? And I try to play right on the very tip of that arc. Wherever my angle of attack is, whatever that is, make sure it's on the tip. So let me just try to explain. The circle's here. This is, up. This is down. Top of the circle, if you're playing perpendicular to the fretboard, to the string, it's a little arc on the string, but perpendicular in most respects. So you're not going to go past that top part. But if you're playing playing a downstroke with a rest, like Pete showed you in the first thing, well, you're going to be going below the line, technically. But if you try to make sure that you just stay on the top of the arc, that top of the arc just changes to this. So that little tip of the circle is over this way now, and the bottom is that way. So just make sure you don't dig in past the center. That's absolute zero of the semicircle. Anyway, I like to do that, and I'm going to try to demonstrate it now, and you can see, so you can see what I mean by that and how to control noise with position shifts, and with different types of techniques like a leap or slide or whatever. One of the really kind of thing that helps me concentrate on that is to play the same lick in different positions. And so let me give it a shot here. I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing in the world, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. And one benefit, before we start, one benefit of this is if you use those brush strokes, you're going to hear these great harmonics that you may not have ever heard from your guitar before because they're there, but sometimes they get smothered by the technique that kind of dig in a little hard, and you kind of. I've been guilty of this so many years of just manhandling the guitar and just kind of not being not letting it sing as much. So anyway, I used to kind of beat it into submission because I was largely self-taught, so I didn't have anybody say don't do that. But I used to I like jumbo frets and all this other stuff. But there's a lot of issues that can happen. It helps you, with a clean sound. But there's issues when if you're playing and trying to find a sweet spot, you're in between the frets, and you push too hard, you're gonna push it sharp, and all that stuff, right? So anyway, here we go. Let's take a listen. I'm gonna play a couple of licks, and I may screw up, whatever. But just try to get the idea. Play it up top of the string. Try to keep everything as quiet as possible. It's kind of loud, and we'll see what happens. All right, and you try to listen to see if you hear the upper harmonics I'm talking about, because they're awesome once you get them going. Okay, so here we go. Pardon my language. Halfway hard, half hard attempt, not the great. Alright, so it's a simple thing, but one of the things I like to do is practice with backing tracks, and then I record myself, and then I listen to my stuff, but I mute the backing track. What you can really do with that is zero in on areas that need attention, right? You listen to yourself and you say, oh, yeah, no, now I understand why that could be better. I do that all the time, play all the time. I love it. It's great. So I call that the naked solo, because you could play a naked solo without accompaniment, but when you're using a backing track, it kind of gives you more of a feel like you're playing with other people and that you're contributing to the overall tune, right? Stay in the pocket and all that stuff. So it helps you identify the areas of concern, and so then you can come up with a plan to address those concerns. So soft touch, and that's kind of it. I really don't have much more to say about it. I think I covered everything. Just remember, try to get those upper harmonics going, and you can hopefully come up with some great sounds. Like I said, you're going to hear stuff you never heard from your instrument before. And try to do those demonstrations. So you don't really have to, if you repeat a lick, it sounds more interesting. You can, use your pick position, get different sounds and stuff like that, but each string has its own timbre, and it's really its own voice. So if you switch strings a lot, you'll hear harmonics on different strings that don't present themselves readily on the other strings. And then you can go, find these other harmonics, that's the flat 7 of E, right? Flat 7 of E. Excuse my playing. I feel myself digging in too hard, I'm trying to practice, right? I'm like, oh, and just get back to that brush structure. And relax my thumbs, that's another thing. You know, because if you grab it too hard, it's gonna sound. Right? Anyway, that's it. I just noodle around, but you know, you can see that there's advantages to it. I hope this helps you. Obviously, I'm not the best guitar player in the world, but you get the idea, and if it helps in some small way to anyone out there, it's worth a shot, right? I don't normally go on YouTube, stuff like that, except for my friends, but you know what they say, a turtle never gets anywhere unless he sticks his neck out. So you have a good day, and if there's any questions or anything, you can contact me through the Long Island Blues Society, and I'll be glad to help. If you have equipment questions, if there's some way I can help, I'd be more than happy to share whatever knowledge I have, or at least maybe find where you can go to find that. All right, you guys have a good day, and take care of yourself.